So there are a number of points you need to consider when you're trying to save water or deal with the drought situation or drought conditions. I usually talk about four main things. One of them is to save as much water as you possibly can. So that would mean tilling your cover crop in early, or certainly tilling it in when there's still plenty of moisture in the field. And the second thing, right along the same line, is once it's been in, to not let the weeds compete with your crop and steal moisture away from your crop. The second one is increasing soil organic matter, which would mean growing cover crops and applying compost. And when you increase soil organic matter content, particularly in California where we have low organic matter content, and particularly in sandy soils, you can increase the water holding capacity of your soil. Approximately a 1% increase in organic matter content in your soil will raise the water holding capacity by about 15 to 25%. And that might mean enough water to last you an extra week or an extra 10 days during the summer. So it's quite a bit of water, but it's not going to have it last the whole season. The third thing is to, when you do irrigate, to irrigate responsibly. Fix any leaks in your system, make sure your filters are clean. When the first thing probably would be even just convert to drip irrigation. That's a great way to save water. You'll save about anywhere from 10 to 25%, mainly because you're not spraying water all over the place and having it evaporate from the surfaces. And if you've got small plants, you're wasting a lot of water away from the root zone of the plant. So you want to time your irrigations according to how hot and dry and windy it is. Now there are automatic systems that you can get that will set up a weather station and can automatically time the irrigations for your crop. That generally works better for landscape turf or pasture or something like that where it's not changing. But most small-scale vegetable farmers particularly, the irrigation demand changes so much during the year by the size of the crop and the different plants that they're growing that's difficult to use an automated system. But you could certainly have a system that tells you what the evapotranspiration rates are, what the water use rates are on a daily basis, and then you could irrigate accordingly. But basically we tell people, be careful not to irrigate too deeply. You've always heard, you want to irrigate nice and deep. Well, that's not necessarily true, particularly for a shallow-rooted crop like most of our vegetable crops. Almost all the roots are in the top 3 to 6 inches, maybe 8 inches. So if we're irrigating down below that, you're probably wasting water down below the root zone. So irrigate on a frequent basis, every day, maybe even sometimes twice a day, for very short runs, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And just wet down a little bit and keep that area moist, and that way you're not wasting any water. The fourth aspect is choosing the right crop at the right time. So, for example, you could grow lots of crops without any water at all. I mean, some of the more famous ones might be like growing tomatoes during the summertime, growing a variety that's early maturing, and then actually tolerating a lower yield. So you end up with smaller fruit and more concentrated flavor in the tomatoes. So, things like nice big strawberries or, big apples, big peaches, things like that. Generally those are crops that you want to be careful and maybe not grow and not plant those if you're dealing with a drought situation. So this series of videos that we've just produced essentially goes into more details and shows a little bit with some still pictures and some videos footage of essentially these items.